is up, Facebook? Coming at you with an ASMR video. Now I'm about to make a YouTube video doing some advertising and that sort of thing. So before I make my YouTube video, let's get Facebook Live started. I pack up a delicious bowl of the cherry goodness. If you have not tried Colt Blood Red Moon Pipe Tobacco, you're missing out. That is most definitely what's up. I'm gonna give these cool cobras some free advertising. And pipe tobacco in the tin is most definitely gonna taste better. And this was definitely one of the brands I was checking out on pipes and cigars. I have a ice cold Rick and Morty flask full of vanilla Coke and cake flavored Pinnacle vodka. And I filled it up and left it in my fridge to sit and chill. And a couple days later, Rick and Morty gets renewed for 70 more episodes. A couple days before the renewal, I filled up my flask and stuck it in the fridge. Keep in mind that Rick Sanchez's face is engraved on the front of it. That's some cool shit. Like, one of my favorite shows is back for the 4th season. That's most definitely what's up. So I kind of felt like making a little ASMR YouTube video to celebrate. And this flask is ice cold. And you already see Rick drinking out of a flask, so it's like, yeah. And this YouTube video is not going to be too terribly long, but now I made a video earlier for YouTube that is getting a lot of likes because of how real I'm being with the topic at question. So, oh, that would be the wrong button. Not trying to take a selfie. That's alright, shit happens. That's where I poop, right? Nah, but okay, video. There we go. What's up, YouTube? So check this out. I made this dang ass drink combination a while back. You could say a couple days ago, if not a day ago. And it's cake vodka mixed with vanilla Coke. I call it a Cobra's Cake. And Cobra's Cake is a delicious drink combination. It consists of vanilla Coke and Pinnacle Cake vodka. A couple days ago, I poured it into my Rick and Morty themed flask so that when the bottle ran out, I had a backup. And a couple days have passed since I filled this flask. It's ice cold. And then I find out that Rick and Morty gets renewed for another 70 episodes. I was saving this flask for Keeper Cast, which is coming up in a couple hours, but, well, I think having one of your favorite adult cartoons renewed for another 70 episodes, that's pretty sweet. And the fact that it's in my Rick and Morty flask, that makes it even cooler. Now, if you remember the last video I talked about, it was an outside video. I basically said I'm sick and tired of the way humans treat dating, how people treat dating like a social status. Now, here's the thing. Having a cell phone, that's a social status. Having a girlfriend is a privilege, not a right. And when you treat dating like a social status, you're objectifying human beings. And that's completely sexist towards both sexes. So Yeah, that drink combination is pretty swinging. Now, keep in mind, I've already had a little bit of Jack to drink earlier. I was hanging out with some friends of mine. Also, I have a cooking video coming up on my KingCobraJFS channel. I redid the breakfast burger and it was so fucking dank that I ought to film it for a cooking video and do it for my channel. It'll probably be coming up in a couple hours or so. I'm not hungry at the moment, but later on, you know, I call it the ultimate breakfast burger. That'll be my next cooking video. People dig the shit out of that. I tried to censor myself, and if I'm going to be doing a drink combination video with the cooking video, don't drink too much before cooking it so I don't get a full bladder and have to pee halfway through cooking. Because that shit's just, you know, yeah. And I found that out doing a video for my second channel that I deleted because I've already got like 6,000 plus subscribers and growing on my first channel. So why fuck with that? You know what I'm saying? Now, I posted something on Facebook a couple of minutes or hours ago, yeah. And one of the comments I got on a post that I made on Facebook, 90% of relationships are worry, struggle, and suffering. We might as well not give a fuck and focus on what makes us happy. That is a true statement. Now, here's the thing of it. I posted something like saying, now here's the thing. I'm going to have to explain my post on Facebook because some people are going to take it out of context. But the post I posted, I said, dating and companionship are a waste of time. Focus on yourself and your hobbies. We all die alone. So yeah, like I said, dating is a waste of time. It just makes losing your other half at old age shitty. And that was just straightforward and to the point. But here's the thing. Going back to what I said in the previous video I posted on my YouTube, where I said people who rush out, people who are in a rush to find companionship are never going to be truly happy with it. 80 to 95% of the people who are in a rush to find companionship are never going to be happy with it. You know what I'm saying? You can't rush a good thing. It's just like getting better at guitar, YouTube. A lot of us would love to be rock star gods on a guitar overnight, but it's not going to happen. It takes dedication, practice, and patience. And trust and believe the dating scene takes patience, but when you deal with snobby people and people treating each other like shit, it's just like, ugh, dude. If you're one of those people where you're just like, I don't care for drama, so I avoid it. It's kind of like knowing when to buy a lottery ticket, you feel me? That once in a lifetime opportunity, you might find the right girl. You gotta know when to buy a ticket. You gotta know how to play your cards right. Now, if you're in a bar having a couple of drinks and you see a couple of chicks hanging out in a group, and if out of the corner of your eye, in your peripheral vision, you might see someone that looks like she's into the same shit you're into, or vice versa. You know, you can flip both genders on this scenario. And if you see someone that looks like they might be into the same shit you're into, and you're into what they got working with, you know what I'm saying? Then don't just jump in head first like a madman. You're gonna ease your way into it because they may be taken. What I said in my last video was expect to be rejected before you get rejected. That seems kind of negative, but it's the truth. And the reason why it's the fucking truth is because it's not just relationship bullshit. That's pretty much everything in life. You apply for a college, they reject you. You apply for a job, they reject you. Maybe you maxed out your credit card and it gets rejected at the grocery store, and that's some bullshit. People are in line waiting for you to fucking get your shit done, and you're sitting there like, rejection is a part of life, and if you expect it before it happens, it softens the blow. And if you focus on, like this Facebook post I posted says, focus on your hobbies and the things that make you happy in life instead of on trying to find companionship. And if it's meant to happen, it'll happen. And you're bound to get something a little bit better. The patient fisherman always gets the catch. I mean, you can teach a man to fish, or you can fish for him, as the age-old expression goes. And that can be applied to just about anything, not just dating and romantic relationships, but also pretty much anything in life. Now, you can teach someone to do a certain thing, or they can learn it themselves. Now, unsurprisingly, my second batch on CobraCraft wands sold out rather quickly. They should be getting shipped out sometime next week. We're ordering shipping tubes for them, and I'll get them certificates made and the wands and everything shipped up. We got enough buttons to go with this batch, so yippers. And this time I was careful about opening the buttons up so they didn't get spilt in awkward places. Now, prior to opening a package, I dumped my spittoon into the trash can, and then I was opening a package in the kitchen with my pocket knife, and a bunch of buttons fell out into the trash can, and I'm like, God damn it. So I washed them off as good as I could and then shipped them off. And then, unfortunately, I didn't get it all. There were still chunks of my chew spit lodged in the button somewhere. And that was unintentional, but there you go. That's exactly my point. When I'm making a cooking video and you're cooking food for the entire world to see, you want to make your videos as appealing as possible. So, like, if you have to blow your nose or use the restroom, do it before you cook and make sure your hands are clean before you do it, shit like that. And there's times when I don't catch everything, and when it happens, it's like, God damn it. And at some point, you realize the whole cooking video is ruined, not from the cooking of the object itself. That the recipe can be delicious, but the way it was filmed could be complete shit. So that's just, and it's frustrating when you have a good recipe that you want to put on social media, and it's just like, but that recipe I made the other night was so good that I'm gonna have to fucking do it again for a cooking video. So I advertised for the ultimate breakfast burger, which will be cooked for a cooking video. Actually, it's going to be called the ultimate breakfast bacon cheeseburger. That's what the name of it's going to be. And I'm not going to tell you when I'm going to film it. I'm just going to fucking film it and post it on YouTube. Post it on my KingCobraJFS account. Fuck it. Got a fresh bowl of that Colt Blood Red Moon Pipe tobacco loaded. Show that logo. Oh, it's upside down. There we go. That's good stuff. It tastes like cherry pipe tobacco, basically. And it smells like candy. Delicious. It's the kind of pipe tobacco you smoke, and people aren't going to be that offended by it because it just smells good. It's the kind of pipe tobacco you would associate with a good smelling pipe. It just doesn't matter what pipe you're really smoking out of. But I got a couple of pipes in my collection. This is one of my tobacco pipes. It's rusticated and smooth. It's a combination of the two. And letting people smoke out of it, the bottom half of my stem broke off because people would chew on it, and it's like, you're not supposed to chew on it. Duh. So I'm like, okay, how can I make my pipe more comfortable to smoke out of my, you know what I'm saying? So I took some sandpaper and I sanded this part nice and flat. So that it's like a half a fishtail mouthpiece, but it works. Now it's more comfortable to smoke out of. And then I noticed the stem was kind of getting loose, so I tightened the stem back up. I mean, I've had this pipe for years and I've had to do work on it, this and that, and it's simple, tedious shit. I mean, it's simple, but it's also tedious because you can mess it up. I can't tell you how many pipes I've broken because I tried to tighten the stem back up after it got a little bit loose, and it's like, God damn it. But these two pipes that I have in my ashtray have lasted me a good minute. This one's over a year old, this billiard, and this other one's several years old. And these are good quality made pipes. These haven't broken on me too much, and they're easy enough to fix, and they're maintaining their value. There are some pipe smokers who might be like, okay, you gotta have a shit ton of pipes in your collection. Gotta have a pipe for each day of the week, and that's how you do. Me personally, I'm content with having one or two pipes that I got. I'm more into the tobacco aspect of it. But, and there are some people who only smoke tobacco out of certain pipes. Like, some people only smoke aromatics out of one pipe and non-aromatics have another pipe. Because some people are finicky about mixing their tobacco in the same pipe. The flavor absorbing into the bowl and mixing with the flavor, you know what I'm saying? Which it is what it is. I mean, there are no really official rules to smoking a pipe except when you light that first char light, tamp it down, relight it, and if it's packed too tight, you can use your poker and you can loosen it up. And you want to unclog your stem, that way it's easy as shit to hit, really. It's simple enough. Now, if you get the pipe going just right, YouTube, get a nice even cake going on top right there. It stays lit and is consistent. You're not having to constantly relight it, but if you're sitting here talking, it's going to go out. That's just how pipes are. Now, if you're smoking a tobacco pipe versus a cigarette, all the ashes collapse into your bowl, so you don't have to flick it until the bowl's gone. And most people will just dump the ashes into an ashtray at that point. But you have to be careful you don't fall asleep with it in your mouth. You don't want the bowl to dump ashes all over yourself. That doesn't feel good. And of course, if you have facial hair, you want to avoid accidentally catching yourself on fire because that shit's not pleasant. My haters in the past have said things like, oh, you don't have any true fans. They all just laugh at you. Meanwhile, I got fans sending me free pipe tobacco, 4 cases of ramen noodles. You know what I'm saying? So I'm laughing at the people talking shit. A lot of people would kill to be me, but here's the thing. You wouldn't like the level of harassment I've received. And it's much like what I've said earlier on the last video. If you want your online social experience to be more pleasant, then the effort to stop social online bullying is a group effort. Don't be afraid to stand up to somebody in the comment section because, they're being a complete twat waffle to someone else who doesn't deserve it, for lack of better words of putting it. And even if you manage to ignore the hater and they go away to an extent, the unfortunate truth of it, YouTube and Facebook, is that they're always going to be there. They'll find somebody else to harass. So if you keep being as persistent as they are at harassing somebody, eventually they'll stop. You know what I'm saying? In a sense, if you become a bigger troll than the troll that's trolling you, but you do it in a way that fucks with them on the next level shit, and doing it to where all they're doing is making you more famous on YouTube, and it makes them look pathetic and miserable. And even outside of that, you know what I'm saying? If you're trolling them back to the point where they don't even realize they're being trolled, and then when it hits them, they're just like, oh, dude, this guy's kind of hard to fuck with because he's on some next level trolling skill type shit. Now, how do you get to such a level of that degree? Sometimes I can spot it, sometimes I can't. But usually when I can spot it, I'm pretty good at defending myself against it. When you get fucked with for having autism, that's the simple fact of it. When you get bullied in school, you're already accustomed to the harassment. So then when you're getting harassed and bullied on YouTube, when I first started, it wasn't as bad. I might have gotten a negative comment in the comment section here and there, but then the more famous I got on YouTube, the more serious the trolling got. And it gets to a point where I'm just like, okay, y'all don't like my videos, but you obsessively fuck with me to try to make my life more miserable. That just shows you how miserable you are as a person. I get more subscribers on YouTube, and what the fuck do you have? Nothing. I rule your sad, miserable existence. And if people's comments got to me, I would change. I would stop making videos, but fuck that noise. Because it's so early in the morning, these videos gotta be super quiet. It can't be just carrying on like a madman, like, oh, rah, 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 rah. No, fuck that. After I fixed the mouthpiece on my older pipe in the collection, the oldest pipe in my collection, it's easy enough to clench between the teeth without chomping down. I can smoke out of it comfortably. And now when I tell people, hey, if you want to smoke out of my tobacco pipes, that's cool. But you can't be chewing down on the mouthpiece, you know what I'm saying, and putting teeth marks in it. I mean, this is a pipe I don't let too many people smoke out of, other than close homies that I know ain't gonna fucking fuck it up. And of course, when I examine the stem on this billiard, there's literally no teeth marks on the stem right here. You know what I'm saying? You gotta death grip it, but you can clench it, and yeah. I'm not gripping the pipe in my mouth hard enough to death grip it, but hard enough that it's not gonna move anywhere when I do this number right here. A lot of people think you have to be Daddy Warbucks to smoke a pipe. They're like, oh, look at it, it's a rich gentleman's hobby. Oh, fuck that. You can get a bag of pipe tobacco for like $20. A corncob pipe for $5, a pipe tool for like $2 or $3, and a Bic lighter for about $2. And you've already spent less than $30 to enjoy some good pipe tobacco. But you do have to be careful buying cheaper pipe tobacco because the tongue bite is ridiculous. You're sitting there puffing away in your pipe like, oh, this is good tobacco, and all of a sudden your tongue heats up. You're like, oh, what is that? Oh, But pipe tobacco is like this cult blood red moon cherry pipe tobacco. This stuff is a very cool smoking experience, no tongue bite whatsoever. And when you can get a pipe tobacco that has little to no tongue bite, it makes the pleasant experience of smoking it that much more pleasant. However, I'm not trying to glorify tobacco. I'm just saying a lot of people have quit smoking cigarettes for pipe tobacco. And me, I haven't quit smoking cigarettes, but sometimes it's more convenient to have pipe tobacco when you can't afford cigarettes because it's cheaper. You know, that's just a fact of life. I mean, Wyoming wants to raise the prices of tobacco and cigarettes. Like, oh, that'll get the smokers to stop smoking because we care about your health. Bullshit. The state needs money, so you're going to pick on the smokers. Most people wouldn't quit smoking. Most people would just smoke cheaper cigarettes or switch to pipe or smoke like mini cigars or whatever. It might make some people quit, but it's not going to make everyone quit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you want to make the state some goddamn money, there are easier and more simpler solutions than making alcohol and tobacco more expensive. Like legalizing cannabis, like Colorado did. I mean, for fuck's sake, Wyoming's right above Colorado. So if Wyomingites want to take a quote-unquote vacation and they're 21 years of age or older, they can legally and recreationally smoke weed in that state of Colorado. And then if they leave it behind and smoke it all there, then technically they haven't done anything illegal. You know what I'm saying? And that's money that could be going into Wyoming's back pocket. All the money that people spend to travel from Wyoming to Colorado to legally smoke, that's money that could be going into Wyoming's back pocket. I mean, Wyoming, put it simply, is run by Republicans, and with Republicans, money talks, bullshit walks. Okay, and here's Governor Matt Mead. Well, the reason why we don't want marijuana legal in Wyoming is because kids are trying alcohol and tobacco at the age of 13. We certainly don't want them trying weed. That just made me laugh when I heard that. I'm like, motherfucker, alcohol and tobacco can cause cancer. That doesn't mean they necessarily will. And marijuana doesn't always cure cancer, but it can. So I'm like, really? And then Governor Matt Mead is one of 3 people that owns Wyoming whiskey. And here he is. I'm like, now what you're doing is protecting your profits in Wyoming whiskey because you're one of 3 people. I get that. But you could be making more money than you're making right now if you had a nice little pot farm next to your whiskey factory. I mean, you look at it from a business opportunity. Wyoming weed. We got Wyoming whiskey. Why the fuck not? Some parents might be against the idea of legalization, but if your kid's going to buy weed, would you rather your kid buy pot off a dealer that they don't know off the streets? It might be laced with some shit they don't need. Or would you rather your kid buy weed from a dispensary where you know it's safe and not laced? I think a lot of parents would go with that second option. Like, if you're going to be a minor and smoke, you know, just make sure your homework and your chores and all that are done. And make sure you're doing passable at least on your grades. Don't be failing school. Because it doesn't make weed look good if all you're doing is smoking and fucking up your life. You know, it makes stoners look bad. It's no different than when people who drink alcohol become violent and overly emotional. I mean, to a point where it's worse than me. And usually I don't get like that. When I drink, I turn into a fucking smartass. But the other night was kind of ridiculous, and I'm still kicking myself about it. But it's a learning curve, I suppose. Like, there's no need to drink and fly off the handle like that. If I'm gonna make a cooking video, just make sure all my pre-video things are taken care of so it looks better on camera. You know, and it's not gonna matter what channel I post it to. If the cooking video looks good and it makes people hungry, people are gonna watch. And I thought about quitting making cooking videos the other day because of the incident, and I had a couple of fans reach out to me on Facebook Live. They were just like, bro, don't do that. We like watching those. So I'm like, okay, so you know what? There are some people who care about me, you know. I might get a couple of shitheads who encourage me to do stupid things on social media, but got my double barrel shotgun sitting next to me. It's empty, of course, but that doesn't mean I don't have easy access to the shells. I keep it there in case a burglar decides to break in, which I shouldn't have to worry too much. It's a pretty safe neighborhood, but, you know, it never hurts to be prepared, right? Fucking zombies started knocking. I'm like, I don't think so, Scooter. And of course, I don't want to show it off on YouTube because they might flag it, of course. You know what, fuck it. See that right there, YouTube? That these aren't the problem. You want to blame guns for society's problems. I'm still sick and tired of the fucking alternate left. These fucking gun-hating libtards. Oh, guns are the problem. Guns kill people. No, people kill people because people are the ones that made guns in the first place. Guns are a human-made invention. Therefore, saying that guns kill people is kind of true and kind of inaccurate at the same time. Oh, you weren't expecting that, were you? You're just like, whoa, where's he going with this? Typical gun-loving American. Where's he going with this? The problem with gun control is both sides are right. You get the people who support the Second Amendment, and they have every right to. But you get people who have lost people to stupid shit, and they have every right to protest too. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. Now, is it fair to pick on the AR-15 when a couple of assholes are just like, you know? I guarantee you if they would have used any other gun, it'd be the same argument for that gun, so what makes it any different? When texting and driving kills people more than mass shootings do, and a lot quicker, but when people are killed by a texter who's driving, they don't blame the cell phone for it. They blame the goddamn person who's texting and driving. They don't sit there and say, oh, the fucking cell phone killed that person. And if you're going to make that fucking argument, YouTube, then how come the cell phone I'm using to film this YouTube video hasn't killed me yet? Maybe because if you're riding the bike and you're going to listen to fucking music, you want to stop and make sure you're not riding, so you're not changing the song while riding, or you're not distracted. I mean, if you practice good driving habits when you're riding a pedal bike, they carry on into your driving habits when you drive a fucking car. It's just that simple. Now, if I was at a hot rod show with my car and I had a bit too much to drink, I wouldn't drive out of that hot rod show. I'd pass out in the back of my car with the keys in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? Don't drive drunk on booze, take a snooze. Message brought to you in part by God, the King Cobra. You know what I'm saying? Park it and spark it if you can, if it's legal in your state. Interesting fact about cannabis, if you smoke it before you get done drinking for the evening, and then maybe a little bit when you wake up in the morning if you have to, which most of the time you shouldn't. But smoking weed before you pass out after a night of drinking prevents hangovers the next day. Oh. But if you can't smoke weed to prevent your hangovers the next day, if you wake up the next day and you can't smoke weed to prevent your hangovers, drink some Sprite or some water. Some people have said you should drink more alcohol when you have a hangover, and that can work, but it's only a temporary fix. No, you want to stay hydrated after drinking, so you want to drink plenty of water and other liquids like soda and this and that. You know what I'm saying? You may end up peeing every 5 minutes, but at least your body's staying hydrated. So even if you don't have marijuana to cure your hangovers, staying hydrated and drinking plenty of water before you rest from the drinking will help out in the long run too. I don't condemn or encourage underage use of tobacco or alcohol, but at the same time, some of my adult fans are going to benefit from these tips, because nothing sucks worse than having a headache the next day. I mean, these are pro tips, people. That's good shit to know. The point that I made in my last video was dating is like alcohol. You should wait till you're at a responsible age to enjoy it, and you should enjoy it responsibly. Now think about it. If you dive into alcohol like crazy, it can be fun, but it can also have disastrous consequences. And it's no different with dating. You know, companionship and romance can be fun, but if you dive into it without any caution, it can have disastrous consequences. That's food for thought, YouTube. So even if you don't get as much companionship as most people would, you might get more than someone else, and that's something to be grateful for. And if you don't get it as much, then that means you're going to appreciate it more than somebody who gets it all the time. Now, before I make or remake that burger for YouTube, I gotta finish the one I'm eating and take a couple of swigs of that. I might end up doing that. That fucker was massive. I mean, I cooked that recipe the other day, and the recipe is still fresh in my head. I mean, people have said, well, you're not going to make money cussing off of YouTube. And then there's that one fucking chef who cooks on YouTube and cusses in his videos. And the same people are like, oh, you should try vapor cigarettes. They're so much healthier for you. I remember when vapor cigarettes first came out. And I had certain people say, well, they're a safer alternative to cigarettes. You should try them. I have tried them in the past. Some of the flavors are good, but I prefer natural tobacco over a vapor pen because that shit can give you pneumonia. And now they have studies coming out that say they're worse for you than cigarettes. Huh. It makes me laugh at the people who said, oh, you should give vaping a try. You should get Yeah. No, it's not my cup of tea. Pipe smoking is a lot safer than vaping, I can tell you that right now, because pipe tobacco has less chemicals than cigarettes do. As an example to that, I want to look on my... Okay, is there a warning of some sort on this tin, like Surgeon General warning? It says, and has chemicals that are known in the state of California to cause cancer, blah, 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 blah. Now, I've done research, and what they use to make pipe tobacco sweet, they use sugar, they use natural food flavorings. And when you burn sugar through tobacco, that can cause some minor reproductive harm to pregnant women, and it can also cause some mild effects to other humans, but compared to cigarettes, which have that and then the shit ton of chemicals they put on top of it, pipe tobacco usually has less chemicals than cigarettes do. That's why it tastes a lot harsher than cigarettes do, because there's less chemicals to make it smooth. They rely simply on natural organic flavors and natural sugars, and they shred it up into mass bulk, and they smack it together, and then let it dry out for a little bit, and then they cut the shreds into smaller strains, and then they put it in the tin. I saw that episode on the Discovery Channel on how they make pipe tobacco, and I was like, dude, that's cool as shit. Not only is pipe tobacco cheaper than cigarettes, but you also get 10,000 more flavors to choose from. Of course, you have to be cautious when smoking a pipe, because if you have long hair like I do, and these Ozzy Osbourne glasses and this long ass fucking hair, people are like, oh, what are you smoking under that pipe? But Kiss My Asperger's is Cold Blood Red Moon pipe tobacco. Like, let's just say we live in a very judgmental society, and you could be a 27-year-old autistic trying to keep your nose clean, but people gotta fuck with you a little bit, you know, and it's just like, And then not only do people mess with you, but then of course you got life itself liking to mess with you. I had a tangle in my hair. I fucking took care of that. As the weather gets hotter, it's easier to put your hair in a ponytail. It keeps the hair from sweating up the back of your neck. And of course, it was caught behind my dog collar. I'm like, hold on a second. You know, I took care of that. I mean, kicking myself because the video wasn't filmed perfectly, but then after eating the burger through a couple bites, I'm like, dude, fuck trying to start a second channel. Just keep doing what you're doing. That's what a lot of fans have said to me in messages in the past. Just keep doing what you're doing. When I see people, complete strangers off the internet, emailing me and messaging me saying that my videos help, okay, that's kind of cool. You know, in some way, I guess I get that. People give something which is a view, and it also gives them something to root for. You see an autistic getting bullied on YouTube, and eventually these trolls are going to back off from me. Eventually they're going to realize that all they're doing is making me more famous on YouTube. Although I might have to make the sausage patty on that one for YouTube a little bit smaller so it's easier to cook. No, fuck that. I'll just do the whole thing but cook it longer. Because it was kind of pink in the middle, which would have been the cherry on top of the bullshit cake. If you're cooking pork, you don't want it to be too pink. That's not exactly healthy to eat, but you know, people want to give me shit about smoking tobacco, like, oh, that's bad for you. Yeah, so is breathing the polluted air that we have. You want to give me shit about smoking a pipe, but what about the fucking asshole that's polluting the air with their factory's carbon footprint? But you're so concerned about my cigarette that you're gonna bitch about it, right? And you're, you know what I'm saying? Like, get the fuck out of here with that. No, one of the things that a fan said to me on chat recently was, bro, don't quit your cooking videos. They're good. You make bar food. And I says to myself, what do you mean by bar food? But then after having a couple drinks, I'm like, the rest of the burger sounds dank as fuck. I'm like, okay, you know what? I get what the fan was saying, you know. If someone at my window comes and knocking and I don't know, it's like, hey, motherfucker, do I know you? Wrong apartment, biatch. And just to prove that it's empty, I'll pick it up by this side. And I can break it open halfway without engaging the hammers. And you can see right there that it's empty. Now if I point the barrels down, disengage the safety, the triggers haven't been engaged. That's literally the best way to check if your gun's empty or not, especially if you have a break action. And like I said, I keep it empty unless I have to use it. That's just gun safety 101. You know what I'm saying? If I had kids running around the apartment, I'd keep it put up. I mean, how simple is it to teach your children not to fuck with these things? Plain and simple. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing all these fucking stories about people being stupid with their guns, and it just... Yeah, a double barrel shotgun may not hold very much ammo, but that's a con. It doesn't hold very many shots, but the pro is that it makes it quicker to reload. So if you're wasting ammo with, you know what I'm saying? I mean, most people think if you rack the slide on your pump shotgun, it'll make the burglar piss their pants. Well, what if they have a gun? You better be prepared to shoot. If you're doing it to be intimidating and you ain't got no rounds, your ass is grass. But this apartment's small enough that I can get to my ammo pretty quickly. And something like this, that's stock length, is just perfect for home defense in a studio. Most definitely. I mean, relatively speaking, the stock barrel is just overkill. I could probably pick somebody off at 50 yards if they were trying to shoot at me. You know what I'm saying? If you had like a slug or some shit. But I don't see the need to carry buckshot or slugs because I don't hunt. But like if I want to do like clay shooting or go out to the range and plink at shit, small game is perfect. You can pepper the intruder but not blow a hole through the wall. You feel what I'm saying? Like most people think, oh, you gotta have buckshot and slugs to defend your apartment if you have a shotgun. No, the fuck you don't. If you have a shotgun, you want to use small game and birdshot if you have an apartment, because buckshot and slugs can penetrate through walls, and you don't want to penetrate through walls. You just want to pepper the person trying to break into your apartment. The stupid dumb motherfucker that's like, do you realize this is Wyoming? I love that bumper sticker. Welcome to Wyoming. Consider everybody armed and dangerous. I love that bumper sticker. Now, I might have had to get rid of my pistol to get a phone, but it was worth it because if I didn't have a phone, how was I going to make YouTube videos? It kind of screws my account and then screws my chances to make money. So, you know. But yeah, hashtag fuck suicide, hashtag fuck gun violence, hashtag fuck mass shootings, hashtag fuck police brutality, hashtag fuck violence against cops, hashtag fuck racism, hashtag fuck sexism, hashtag fuck sexist double standards. This is like some hillbilly type shit right here. Like, shh, be very, very quiet. We're hunting for pedos. No, but could you imagine if that was legal to do? Oh, you're a high registered sex offender. Well, guess what? You've been put on a list that says people can legally break into your house and kill you on sight with whatever weapon they choose, and you can't legally own anything. That would solve people's violent urges. If you were proven without a doubt 100%, you know what I'm saying, a nasty motherfucker like that, you know what I'm saying, you give them like a minimum of 8 months in prison, and then when they get out, they're forced to fight each other in a gladiator match, and the survivors of that gladiator match are then hunted off like scum. I guarantee you if we had that fucking solution for high registered sex offenders, people be like, oh, we get to watch these sick bastards kill each other, and then the survivors get to be hunted off by the rest of us, normal, kind, humble folk. Hell yeah. It'd be like hunting white-tailed deer, only instead of it being seasonal, hunting SOs would be open season all year round. Now, the reason why it's not completely legal to do that is because people don't tolerate that shit in prison. They found, that's just the funny thing of it. And it's funny in its own sick sort of way. Some dude kills a woman, but he gets pissed off at some SO. Like, what they both did was disgusting, to say the least, to take a human life. But the person who murders a person is getting offended by the person who did nasty shit. It really makes you think about the scale of it all. You know what I'm saying? YouTube. Pedos be getting their teeth knocked out and wearing red M&Ms for lipstick. I'm not going to name names, but I have some friends of mine who had to deal with a person in their life that was trying to fuck with them, and he's done things to certain people in the past, and I wasn't having it. These people were friends of mine, and this person needed to go. So I cast a spell to protect my friends and their family against that person's bullshit. And these detectives basically said he's looking at 100 some odd plus years in prison sentence for what he's done to certain people. They finally caught him on some serious charges. And that just made me smile when I found out that my dark magic was used to help people once again. And the reason why I don't go into fucking detail of what happened and what that person did is to protect the lives of the people it involves. You know, I don't give out names, that sort of thing, but I've witnessed my magic help people many times. That's a tasty drink combination. Check this out, YouTube. Almost a year ago, I found out that Kim Jong-un was testing nuclear missiles and threatening the United States. I wasn't having that. So I set a circle of protection for the United States and for the world against Kim Jong-un's nukes. And then, not even a year later, September 3rd, 2017, keep in mind it's the third day of the month, reportedly there were 4 earthquakes that destroyed Kim Jong-un's nuclear test site as soon as he tried to fire one off. And now he's trying to make peace with everybody. September 3, 4 earthquakes. You can't tell me that's not a coincidence. And now Fox has this singing show called The Four, where 4 contestants go head-to-head in a singing contest, much like American Idol. Tell me that's not a coincidence. Now, a couple of days before that, like I said, the day I got the bottle, I made a mixed drink in the flask, stored it in the fridge, and the next day I finished it, and the day after, I crack open that same flask because Rick and Morty got renewed. Rick and Morty got renewed for 70 more episodes. Wobba-dub-dub-dub. Now, this flask has Rick's face on it, and it says, let's get riggedy wrecked, son. And this flask is the shit. It just seems oddly fitting to crack this open, especially when one of your favorite cartoons gets renewed. Yes. Now, some people might be like, what's the point of shows like Rick and Morty? They're offensive and crude and blah, blah, blah. They say laughter is the best medicine. So if marijuana makes you laugh, does that mean marijuana is the best medicine? This guy and his jokes, if I may be so blunt. No, but seriously, YouTube and Facebook. It provides relief. You know what I'm saying? Quite often you might see a cartoon and you might find a character you can relate to. And then if the cartoon has humorous situations, it provides a sort of tension relief from the everyday stress of life. Now, for example, if I'm watching Bob's Burgers and I'm seeing Tina struggle with her autism, I'm like, I can kind of relate to that. And I love making burgers. Burgers are fucking dank. And there were some funny moments in that show. And I'm just like, yo, that's what's up. Speaking of Bob's Burgers, here's my impersonation of Tina from Bob's Burgers. Okay, that's enough of that. That was pretty accurate, though. Oh, geez, Rick, we got 70 more episodes. Wubba-dub-dub-dub. Hey, Morty, 70 more episodes, Morty. That's what's up. If I try to do Rick's voice as quietly as possible, that's about as close as I could do it. Like if he's whispering like, yeah, Morty, get it. I mean, you could punish yourself for fucking up on the video, but that wouldn't do you any good. It'd be even ruder to waste it, so... God damn it. That's the only thing that alcohol and marijuana have in common. They both give you the munchies. Think about it. If you're at a fucking bar and you're having a couple beers, and by the time you're done drinking, you're just like, Taco Bell. Now, could you imagine YouTube if I was doing Taco Bell food reviews in my clock tower and just sitting by this big ass bell, surrounded by a Carillion? You got the bell that I'm sitting by in shot going, what up, YouTube? Living Moss today in the clock tower doing a Taco Bell review. You can't tell me that wouldn't be dank as shit. People would be like, what? It'd be adding irony to your food review. That's why it gets so many views. I'll take a shot for potentially getting the dream house in the next couple of months. Gotta play that lottery, man. That's your best chance. Yeah, buddy. So I'll tell you what, YouTube. If Kim Jong-un plays nice and actually does what he says he's going to do, and he starts treating his people a little bit better, and he makes peace with the other asshole he's fighting with, because I think he realized it don't fucking matter if he's got nukes or not. Americans are some crazy ass motherfuckers. Look who we elected as president. We don't give a shit. We're showing other countries we don't fuck around. We'll elect a goddamn Cheeto wearing a fucking toupee. We'll elect a goddamn Cheeto wearing a toupee for president. We don't give no shits. Just kidding. No, but seriously. All political jokes aside, I kind of sympathize with Donald Trump because he gets bullied on social media. I get a little bit of that, but not to the degree he gets, dude. Like, even if you don't agree with all of his policies, you gotta know that the president's gonna get bullied on social media no matter what he or she may do. Like, could you imagine if Oprah became the next president after? Like, what if it was Oprah versus Bernie Sanders in the next race? That'd be sick. That'd be a hard call to pick, wouldn't it? That'd be like tough as fuck. You'd be like, oh, dude, they both make good presidents. Why? And that'd be a relief to people, instead of being like, okay, we can vote for Hillary Clinton, who's a corporate controlled conniving cunt, or we can vote for Donald Trump, who's kind of a retard. Fuck, we are so screwed on this election. We are so fucking screwed on this election. They didn't even give us a cigarette or a date. They just straight fisted us with this election. Here's the thing, though. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are distant cousins. So tell me the election wasn't rigged. Tell me the goddamn election wasn't rigged. I don't want to say too much because I might get my ass assassinated for saying too much. At least I hope not. Knock on my wooden desk here. No, but if the government assassinated me for finding out too much, people would know, and they'd be like, why isn't he making dank-ass cooking videos? What the hell happened, man? Or is conspiracy so true that the government was like, no, we can't have this? Nah, man. No, but if the government supposedly watches us through our computer lenses, then they see everything I do. They're like, this guy's not a threat. He's just one of those conspiracy theorist types. And he makes dank-ass food and dank-ass drink combinations. Shit, we gotta try this. They try it and they're like, oh. No, I'm just kidding. I might be overstating it. But here's the thing, YouTube. In all sincerity, dating and social media have one thing in common. People ruin it for a lot of other people. There might be some people who have great ideas for making YouTube videos and providing content for people to watch. But when they're watching their favorite YouTubers get bullied and harassed, it scares them away from making a channel because they think, okay, do I want to experience this? And most people don't want to get bullied to the level of which I've been bullied on social media. And the reason why I remain vigilant with the videos, despite all the negativity and hatred I get, is because I want it to be inspirational for anybody out there going through anything. You know, I don't let my circumstances get the better of me. I don't complain about it too much. I acknowledge it could be worse. It could be better, it could be worse, you know. But the fact that Rick and Morty got renewed for 70 more episodes by Adult Swim, people were sharing the article. I'm like, is it true? No bullshit. Fuck yes. Season number 4, baby. Again, it seemed like the perfect time to break out the flask. And the fact that I poured it and stored it, and then a couple of days later it gets renewed, I'm like, well, ain't that a coincidence? But one thing will determine whether or not I remake this recipe for a cooking video. Because sometimes I'll cook something and it's trial and error and it won't taste as good. This recipe is still good a couple days later. Then trust and believe it's going to be a cooking video on my next cooking video. Wait for that. Oh, I can't wait for that. You know what? Fuck it. Before I eat that sandwich, though, I want to fucking smoke on some of that pipe tobacco. Cherry goodness, YouTube. Now, when I was filming that cooking video for the second channel before I deleted it, it started out real good. Like up until the point where my nose got stuffy and I had to piss. I tried to do it discreetly off camera without making any noise, and then coming back and discreetly washing my hands and all that sort of thing. But then other little things started happening and then it just spiraled. I'm like, no. And having a platform like YouTube, people have said you should open up your own restaurant or become a bartender. Being a bartender would be a kind of a cool job, but you'd have to make drinks that people request, you know. Not being a paid bartender by trade, I have the freedom and creativity to explore various drink combinations. And if they work, I share them with social media so other people can enjoy them. That's all I'm saying, like, for real though. Some of my drink combinations are not exactly kid-friendly, but that's alright. Now, if you're going to drink or smoke tobacco, wait till you're old enough to do it. It's less stress on your life. You're not getting minors and consumptions. I could have gotten those. I think I have gotten a minor in consumption for tobacco when I was younger, and I got in trouble for it, and it wasn't pleasant dealing with it. And obviously, it didn't deter me from not smoking when I was older, but at the same time, you know, they got these electronic vapor pens that vaporize caffeine, and because it's not nicotine, it's unregulated, so teens can be walking around mimicking vapor pens, which mimic the real thing, and wait and see. It's going to take one asshole to fuck it up, and they'll have it behind the counter with everything else. Like, why the fuck would you vaporize caffeine? That's a new one on me. I'm seeing millennials burning themselves with deodorant spray and vaporizing caffeine, and I'm just like, the fuck kind of shit is this? First of all, if you want caffeine, why not just drink a Coke, drink a soda, have like one energy drink. If you're super sensitive to caffeine, then don't drink energy drinks. I mean, it's just that fucking simple. I mean, why would you? I don't try to understand it, but these new things that come out, these things that people do, it's just like, what the fuck is this shit? I mean, if you want a fucking YouTube challenge, eating one of my nasty ass burgers, for fuck's sake, there's a challenge for you. It won't kill you or hurt you, but it might make you throw up. I'm over exaggerating. Most people wouldn't put bananas and what have you on a burger. That's a little out there, but yeah. To be fair, I haven't put bananas and sardines on a burger. That'd be weird as fuck. I don't know if I'd like that. I think that'd be pushing it for me. And if you're doing sardines and bacon and a nice mozzarella cheese on top of a burger, all melted and gooey, that'd be delicious as fuck. But you don't mix sweet and fishy unless you're doing like a sweet and sour sauce. Or like sushi or Asian food or some shit like that. It's just, you know what I'm saying? That's just, yeah, I don't know. But then again, the things I don't like, you may think are delicious. The things I think are delicious, you may look at me like, why the fuck would this autistic bastard eat that? That looks nasty as oh, why? No, ew. But with the ultimate breakfast bacon cheeseburger, just the name alone is gonna have you clicking that cooking video like, what the fuck is he making now? Click. Oh, by the end of the video, you're just like, God damn it, I'm hungry. Now I gotta make it. And that's the goal for every cooking video YouTube, is to make you want to try the recipe and to make you hungry. But the ultimate test to see if this recipe is even worthy of being on my cooking channel segments. Can't really call it a cooking channel because I tried that and no. Too much shit. And I'm like, no, it's easier just to keep it contained on one channel that's already growing for one thing. 1 second. Yo, fuck the haters. Check this shit out. It's not even the whole fucking sandwich. Look how massive that is. God damn, dude. Okay, this sandwich is so good that it has to be on the cooking segment. God damn, dude. I can cook one for a YouTube video as soon as I finish this one. But it's not going to be right away because as soon as I finish this. Oh, dude. I mean, this is only a small section of this sandwich and this fucker's massive, dude. I definitely used the perfect amount of seasoning on it too. I didn't over season it. However, I didn't let the sausage cook long enough. It's a little bit pink in the middle. I don't want to waste this because food's expensive. So, yeah. Yeah, every layer on this burger. I mean, I've done a breakfast burger on my YouTube channel before, but this is how you do a breakfast burger. God damn it. You know, when I got this burger to the process of melting the cheese, it melted beautifully. And I was freaking out about it. Like, what the fuck? That's the strangest thing, YouTube, is when you're a combination of angry and hungry, it makes you do stupid shit. Yeah. This recipe is being redone. Oh, we. Now I have the ingredients to recreate this burger, so it's not going to be a problem. I'm not going to do it right away, especially after eating the last of this. But later on in the day. Mm. Yeah, that's still good. Even though it's a couple of days old, it's still good. That was the test right there, I guess you could say. It's still good a couple of days after making it. And if the answer is yes, then it's definitely a recipe worthy. It's a little bit on the spicy side, but it's not overpowerful. And of course, making something like that makes a complete mess of your plate, but that's the kind of protein that powers these sexy biceps. And you think these things are going to feed themselves? That's funny. God damn it. Like no bullshit. That burger had burger patty, sausage, bacon, over easy sunny side egg, cheese, horseradish mustard, and mayo. And the proportions on that burger were just right. However, if I were to remake it, I'd probably cook that sausage a little bit longer so that it's not so pink in the middle. And that right there would have been another thing they would have seen on YouTube on the cooking video had I posted it to that so-called second channel of mine. It would have been like, oh, well, the sausage is pink in the middle. That looks disgusting. It's not sanitary. Yeah. No, but sometimes it's trial and error. That's how we learn as humans to get better at what we do. Now I kind of definitely see what the fan said earlier. You make bar food. No, but I was kind of a little bit tipsy, and I didn't even care if that was a couple of days old. That was just, oh, dude, the flavor on that was. So the next cooking video is going to be the ultimate breakfast bacon cheeseburger. It's going down on the YouTube channel. You already know. But not right now, because that was, even just that little bit was unbelievably filling. I mean, just the whole fucking sandwich itself was wider than my hands. You can go to a fast food restaurant to order your food, or you can make it yourself. Fast food style sandwiches made yourself. So I guarantee you these recipes that I come up with, some of them are going to taste better than any fast food restaurant you go to. Yeah, you could go to McDonald's and have them do a quarter pounder with egg and bacon and all the stuff that I put on this breakfast sandwich, but it's not going to be as massive. I mean, this is the kind of sandwich that you get your day started, you're going to be like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? And if I wanted to make it extra spicy, I could put some Satan's Blood hot sauce on it, but I don't know. I tend to go very light on that stuff because Satan's Blood hot sauce doesn't fuck around. It's just as spicy as Swampadelic, if not a little bit spicier, but not by much. Like that's some mean hot sauce, man. Oh, god damn it. I did that Satan's Bacon Cheeseburger Challenge. There's a fucking challenge for you. There's a cooking video that I made, and that's exactly the title of it. What the fuck are millennials spraying themselves with deodorant until they get burned on it? Like, if you want to have fun burning yourself, how about eating a Satan's Bacon Cheeseburger? That video I posted on my YouTube channel. That burger was spicy as fuck, okay? No bullshit. You want to burn yourself while having a challenge? There's a better way of doing it. Why the fuck are millennials picking up deodorant spray and spraying themselves to the point they burn themselves? What kind of stupid shit is that? Like, are people that bored with their lives? Are they so bored they're like, well, we gotta come up with some crazy way to entertain ourselves? I know, let's spray our friends with deodorant spray. This will be fun. Ow, motherfucker, why would you get... No, dude. From the creators of the Tide Pod Challenge and the Snort a Condom Challenge comes the Deodorant Challenge. When I first heard it, I thought, what, do you go without wearing deodorant for a couple of weeks? That's nasty. And then I find out it's even worse than that. People are spraying themselves with deodorant spray and holding it close to their arms so that the compression from the CO2 in the can causes a mild first-degree burn. Why is the question? I mean, a bigger question is what's next? To stick a fork in the outlet challenge? Good God. I mean, I've heard of some stupid shit, but that, he said, while drinking this drink combination, takes the cake. He said while drinking Cobra's Cake drink combination. I call it Cobra's Cake because it's cake-flavored pinnacle vodka mixed with vanilla Coke. It's fucking delicious, man. I've been sipping on that shit the last couple of days, and that combination is just, simply delicious. You wouldn't have to mix much more to make it any sweeter, but if you wanted to be really seductive, you can mix chocolate-covered cherry Baileys with the cake-flavored vodka and the vanilla Coke. And maybe like a splash of Tennessee honey. That shit would be hella fucking sweet and fuck you up. It tastes like you're drinking cherry chocolate cheesecake, basically. I'm willing to bet you. But you gotta be careful with your drink combinations, Facebook and YouTube. You make them too delicious and too sweet, they go down so smooth. And the smoother they go down, the quicker you get fucked up. And so if you're not careful, you're like, oh, this is pretty good. You start sipping on it, and next thing you know, you're like 4 or 5 shots or whatever, and you're like, You know what I'm saying? So, depending on your tolerance to alcohol, of course, be wary of the drinks that are not as harsh. And there are some alcoholic beverages you take a swig and it's like, oh, fuck, that burns. You know, which is somewhat of a good thing because it teaches people some limits. You know, it teaches them tolerance. But eventually you start drinking that and eventually it stops burning. That's when, you know, you gotta watch it. When those harsh burning drinks stop burning after a while from drinking just enough of it. Yeah. Mm. I've been trying to work on my fucking temper, and in the last couple of weeks I still lose it, but it's not as bad as it was. Is that phone trying to die on me? I don't think so, Scooter. And plug in the charger right quick. Now, what do you think the biggest complaint women have about men? They're sick and tired of dating assholes. What do you think the biggest complaint men have about women? They're sick and tired of dating gold-digging skanks that take them for all their fucking money. It's the same argument every time. And it's like, well, then you learn to pick better people and you'll just, you know, hop for the first thing that hands you a fucking rose. Or hop for the first thing that just falls into your lap and says, oh, I'll be your best friend. Yeah, from a friend. So some of my overly negative toned Facebook posts might get misconstrued as being, you know, this and that. But what I basically said with that Facebook post was, it doesn't matter if you find somebody or not. You're still going to die alone. So don't stress it. Don't worry about it. Just accept it and be happy with the life that you have. Instead of wasting the short life you have being miserable with the dating, you'd be less miserable if you take your time with it a bit more. You know what I'm saying? If you're not in such a rush, you know what I'm saying? I guarantee you'll find better options. Now, going back to what I might have said, or didn't, actually, I did in fact say this on my last YouTube video. Expect rejection before it happens. That's kind of a negative way to look at things, but here's the thing. I can't tell you how many times that little trick has saved me rejection on the dating scene. If I think about making a move, or, you know what I'm saying, by some casual crowd watching, but not act like you're spying on people, just play it smooth, you know what I'm saying? And you can observe people out of your peripheral vision. And if you can see that that chick you're about to hit on has a boyfriend, well, there you go. You found out before you made a move. You see what I'm saying? That's just how you play it stealthy, man. Yeah. Flask is about halfway gone, but we're drinking this entire flask here to celebrate Rick and Morty getting renewed for another 70 episodes. That's most definitely what's up. And of course, if you don't want the cap to tip over, you just hold it with your finger like that. And the thing about this combination right here is it's so smooth. And you're mixing vanilla Coke with the cake vodka. The Coca-Cola pretty much eliminates what little burn the Pinnacle has, and the vanilla taste complements the cake taste of the vodka. And when you mix caffeine with alcohol, it makes a nice little effect to mixing a downer with a stimulant. That's why if you're mixing hard alcohol and caffeine, you want to go half and half. You don't want to overdo it on either one. That can have negative consequences with your drink combination. Equal parts on both alcohol and caffeine. You don't want a drink that's too stiff on alcohol and doesn't have enough caffeine. You know what I'm saying? It's just, ugh. Gotta be smart about mixing your drinks, people. And this Cobra's Cake drink combination is one for the ages, folks, because it just has a nice ring to it. Like, what is the Cobra flavoring in it? No, it was created by the autistic bastard that loves Cobras, so he's like, yeah, coming up with ways to throw the word Cobra into a drink combination that plays relevant to the nature of said drink combination. And because there's cake vodka in the drink combination, and because that's definitely not for me, because I ain't doing nothing illegal. I'm drinking and having some tobacco. I was pinged on Facebook. I'm doing fantastic, Chase Roberts. Thank you for asking. I'm doing excellent. I'm learning to work on my temper and have more confidence in myself as an individual. Now, granted, personal growth doesn't happen overnight, but, you know, and of course, when I'm up late having a couple drinks, you know, some fans do get concerned about me, and I appreciate that, but, you know, But yeah, this Colt's Blood Red Moon Pipe Tobacco is pretty good stuff. YouTube, I can dig it. YouTube and Facebook, most freaking definitely. It's got a nice sweet smell to it. Beats being in the fucking cigarettes, man. Although when I go to microwave and melt the cheese, just keep the top bun off until it's done melting. That way I ain't gotta worry about it tipping off the plate. So in a way, even though I fucked up a little bit on that last attempt on a cooking video, I learned a couple of new things from doing it. So sometimes our fuck ups help us learn things. You know, you learn that certain things don't mix, or you know what I'm saying? Pating. Like if a Facebook redneck was spitting into a spittoon. Pating. Huh. Well, Chase Roberts comments, "Hey man, hope you're doing okay." I respond with, "Yeah, thanks." Rock on, bud. You make the best videos on YouTube. I've been a fan since like 2011. And this is exactly the kind of thing I'm talking about. When you have fans who take that kind of time to reach out to you, you know, that's what makes doing what I do on YouTube worth it. So I could see some quality in my video to be shitty and unacceptable, but to my hardcore fans, they'd be like, "We love all your videos." It's like, come on. What up, Emily Kate? What up, Aaron? How y'all doing? Good morning, Jake. Now, the funny thing is, and I'm going to repeat myself on this video, but Rick and Morty gets rescheduled for another 70 episodes. And a couple days before it gets rescheduled, I fill my Rick and Morty flask up with some Cobra's cake, which is cake pinnacle vodka mixed with vanilla Coke, half and half. And I stores it in the fridge, and a couple of days later, I'm pulling it out to fucking celebrate Rick and Morty having new episodes. And what makes it even more ironic is the fact that it's a Rick and Morty flask with Rick's face on the front. But here's the thing, just because it's a flask doesn't mean you have to have alcohol in it. You can carry water in it or soda pop. But if you mix soda pop with your alcohol and put it in a flask, try not to shake it up too much because the carbonation makes your flask bubble up and decompress and pop. Like all the dents in my flask, one came from like losing my temper, and that's one thing I'm looking at, like right there, the dents, it didn't leak, it didn't break it, it added character to it, but at the same time, I'm just like, you know, well, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit tired, but I'm doing all right. Well, hi Carla, how you doing this fine morning? Indeed. This content you requested cannot be displayed right now. It may be temporarily unavailable. The link you clicked on may have expired or may not have permission to view this page. What is this? Get out of there. Well, not a whole lot happened at the moment. I don't know why is Facebook sending this message? Close out of that. Well, I'm going to end this live stream on Facebook because I don't know why it's doing this.